Ed Mycue is a San Francisco-based poet who, after an impressive education, served time in the Peace Corps. Ed's poetry is imbued with the essence of life in San Francisco and beyond, and has roots in his Niagara Falls, New York, and Dallas upbringing. His writing runs the gamut from a deep respect for nature to the human dramedy to vital political questions of our time. Ed is the author of more than 10 poetry books and chapbooks. He has been an active open mic reader with Rivertown Poets during the pandemic years. Please welcome our friend Ed Mycue.
These few poems, there are 4, maybe 5, are part of a suite of poems I call the Sonoma Suite. I won't read them all because we have 10 to 13 minutes. The first is Adventure in Paradise. It's hot today. The horse races would be nice, and the grandstand will be shaded, quiet, cool. Several years ago, we'd had a rainy summer. And at the end of August, Richard Steger drove us up from San Francisco north over the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, that's painted a dull orange, you know. Past all those towns on Highway 101 through Marin County amid green hills this year, past Lucas Valley into Sonoma County, crossing the San Antonio River and Petaluma, for which Harry Partch decades ago now composed On the Seventh Day the Petals Fell and Settled Petaluma, and where Richard Steger went to high school and a junior high school, well, because Cotati, 8 miles north, had none then. And then rose with the road north from Denham Flats to past Cotati, past Rohnert Park, 9 more miles to Santa Rosa for the annual Sonoma County Fair, where this year, 1998, the theme was Adventure in Paradise. We ate, went to the horse races, to the Hall of Flowers with the Paradise theme show and the volcano. Got ice cream squares dipped before us in hot chocolate, then rolled in peanut pieces on sticks in Grace Pavilion, and then bought a Ginza night set, you know, that kind of thing, and went to the judging of those earnest teen and preteen dairy goat raisers, saw the llamas, a bright snake tent, a Midway spaghetti palace, tri-tip barbecue, and then back home, south on 101, and Richard drove us home. The next one, as time goes on, Richard's life on the ranch, now under Highway 101. Life on the ranch was, well, sweaty, ugly, and boring, he said. Richard named his little goat Nubbins because of the wattles hanging down the sides of her face. Blackie was another goat, black and white. And he had a little steer he raised 4-H, who they called Pancho Pico, after a Latin wrestler, a contemporary of Gorgeous George, the king of the sport on 1950s TV. Irene and Dan Steger were his parents. Dan worked days in Mare Island shipyards pipe fitting subs. Irene handled the kids in the ranch, sold eggs, camped their food, ran to yank switches from the willow trees that thrash those wild kids when she could catch them. Then the highway came through and took the ranch. The money went for the bills and a car, stuff the kids needed. They rented an adobe-sided house from Mrs. Parker, who lived 2 empty lots over in that New England-style Victorian. The Catholic church in Cotati, next to the freeway, stands on part of what used to be the ranch. John Peru, Irene's father, had it following World War II. Irene and Dan had moved from Chicago, Downers Grove, in 1949. Richard might have been 6 then, and Philip, David, and Charmaine, not even born yet. Richard had a dog called Mycue. You see her in a lot of those snapshots. Beautiful terrier with black spots and lost hands tipping her ears, plus lots of white, and the most intelligent, sweet face. She protected Richard in the chicken yard. Richard hates those stupid chickens and turkeys. They had turkeys too, who from what he says may be dumber. Then there's that sad passage where Pancho Pico, the little steer that Richard has seen hugging around the neck, matured and was sent off the ranch to be butchered. Richard's father can't recall exactly where they got the goats from or why, but likely from some other rancher who moved on. They were of two kinds. One he remembers was Nubian. Richard says they used to do little goat burps in his ear and were so delicate they never hurt him when they would playfully butt him. And well, that was probably Blackie. Or eat the smallest morsel from his hands. That was both of them. I don't recall him saying any names other than Blackie and Nubbins. Nubbins seems to have been his favorite. I wrote this for Richard's and my foster children, Nicholas and Rachel. And another one is going to be in here. It's a little slower. Iris Garden with a pink rose tree for memory. Irene, your cucumber moon has a piece bit out. There are clouds scudding, wind kicking the iris. I have a dream of you eating strawberry lemon ice because I know you love me. You just forked over your dinner. Jewels of little red potatoes, blue lake snap beans, a vinaigrette drenched butter lettuce, scapegrace bouillabaisse, unlike your mother's from Marseille. And you are laughing, promising Dan you'll eat maybe a few of those gnocchi al pesto and a good Louis with lots of crab leg meat, capers, half a hard-boiled egg, maybe a deviled egg if Philip makes it. And maybe finish off with, well, I gotta say, this woman had no eating disorders, a little creme brulee. But from now on, no more weariness, Irene. You'll rest. You moved to join your father, Jean Peru, toward your Tron and Maitre ancestors. Louise, your mother, a Maitre Tron, born in the summer moss, high up in July on the rugged, ragged French Swiss, Italian border of the Piemontese. So much longer than a century later now, stretches out to you her arms and smiling says, the old Valdese welcome you. And 8 centuries of the Valdenses sing the name Irene, who's come home. Go, Irene, join your father, Jean Peru, join your ancestors, join the Maitries and the Trons. Louise, your mother, lends you her arm, her 4-star smile. And all through the valleys, the Tyrian purple floats because Irene has returned to the bosom of the family. And the 4th poem, Pearl Harbor, after the destruction. The idea of greenness descends with a conviction of the idea of a taste or a smell. The valuable green oil of the olive sometimes presses amber, gold, as flowers pressed in the family Bible, like the 6-leaf clover Richard found in Cotati, California, near the seed farm in the house next to Mrs. Parker's. Abandoning chronology now, risks confusion of discrete moments, rippling memories of the sailor boy who wooed and wed Irene, Peru, and of the 4 children, and of a move from Downers Grove in Illinois, west to family history lost and love to call. Chinese New Year, young turnips with the scarlet tipping the blonde, and the sailor brothers Steger, sent out to Pearl to gather up the bodies, and of the ranch later, and the garden of celery, spinach, and of other wars. And I think we may have enough for this last little poem called Cotati. A strange happening in a dirty playground knocked at my heart's door, surface stripped off where I fretted, strained in pure cussedness, floating dizzy in the rain, up from Ronert seed farms, and a wall of white aroma rode into the night air. It put a jess on me, pulling me up like an electric inclinator. And morning, after the departure from those pale, thin blooms, I could have wrung my duds out in that tough morning light. And then you gave me your crinkled eye smile. So I sang, I'm just a pebble. You made me a pearl. Satin blue sky lining billow behind still creamy clouds and open my heart to swirl. Thank you. I think that'll fill my time.